I'm Alberto. In this video, I will show you the improvements available in Quartus Prime Pro related to the precompiled components feature. The agenda for today includes a brief presentation of the feature, how it works, the main update for this release, which is shared IP caches, and finally some changes that you will find in the GUI. Previously, Altera presented a new technology named Precompiled Components. The purpose of this technology is to enable designers to save compile time. In the next slides, I will show you how this is achieved. Following the provided links, you can access to the video of the technology preview, which provides a features primer that compares the design flow when using the feature against when not using it, and read about usage details in the design compilation user guide. Finally, please remind that this is a beta feature, thus some changes may come in future releases. This is an overview of the design flow. You will start by adding your IPs and RTL code, generate the IPs, and then go to the analysis and synthesis stage. The precompiled components generation is an optional sub-process of analysis and elaboration, in which enabled IPs are partially synthesized and stored in a local IP cache. In this animation, the enabled IPs are represented by the dark blue boxes. After elaboration, the compiled RTL and IPs are passed to the synthesis stage, and then to the feature. If later you need to change your RTL or some parameters from non-cached IPs, there will not be needed to recompile the cached IPs, and the synthesis stage will read them from the cache, thus saving compile time. The more enabled IPs in your design, the larger the benefit of this feature. With this update, Quartus Prime Pro enables sharing IP caches. This allows you to use the precompiled components along different projects or machines. Let's see how this works. Assume you want to share some IPs with your colleague. You start a project with the precompiled components and shared caches enabled, specifying a directory where the generation will put the shared precompiled components. You can have more than one shared cache and set them as writable or read-only. You can specify an ordering for reading the caches. Following the process mentioned in the previous slide, when the compiler finds an IP that is not in the local cache and in the shared caches, it will partially synthesize it and store in the local cache and in the writable caches. Now assume that your colleague is working with Project 2 and that the design requires IP1. The compiler will find this IP in the shared cache and reads it to the local cache and synthesize it from there, not requiring to do the full compilation again, thus saving compilation time. Now let's see how to use this feature. Start by enabling the feature going to Assignments, Settings, and Precompiled Components. Notice that the feature is not enabled by default. Check the Enable the Precompiled Components Generation stage and use cached IPs during compilation checkbox. Then, to enable shared caches, specify their paths, write permissions, and access order. Finally, set the number of parallel jobs to compile the IPs. It's highly recommended to set this parameter to auto, thus letting Quartus compiler to compute the best value. You can find the progress bar icon in the compilation dashboard. It will call the precompiled status tab, where you can see the compiled status of each component. In the compilation report tab, you can find the precompiled components summary, which displays information about the cached IPs. Finally, here are some more changes in the GUI. The Clean Project dialog includes checkbox to erase the local precompiled components cache, and the Advanced Archive settings allows you to include the local IP cache among the files to archive. In summary, once the precompiled components beta feature is enabled, Quartus compiler partially synthesizes enabled IPs and store them in a cache, leveraging parallel synthesis. You can set how many parallel jobs you want to use for partial synthesis, In subsequent compilations, unmodified cached IPs are not fully synthesized again, but read from the cache, thus saving time. You can use multiple shared caches as well. This allows the use of partially synthesized IPs in different projects. You can configure the shared caches to be writable or not, and assign them access priority. If Quartus compiler doesn't find a corresponding entry in the local cache and in the shared caches, it will generate a write in local cache and in all writable caches. More details about usage are provided in the Quartus Prime Pro Design Compilation User Guide. This concludes this video. This is Alberto. Thank you and have a good day.